What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live show from the FLX HQ. We're here in San Diego to talk about not only the baby maker, but all things FLX and electric bikes. As always, Troy will be joining the show for a global status update and our production update, the video proportion of our baby maker production updates. He'll be joining a little earlier today at 2:05 p.m. so we can jump right into that in just a few moments. Some other exciting news to talk about. We launched an equity crowdfund campaign 2 weeks ago on the day of the last live show. That is off to a resounding start. We can't say too much about it due to regulations from the SEC, but we can tell you it has raised $386,000 so far from 226 investors. These are new owners of FLX. So congratulations everybody for joining, and anybody who's on the fence about it or just watching here for the ride with us. Thank you guys for being here with us for this journey. It's absolutely incredible to have so much support, and it really gives us the fuel to keep pushing forward. We know we have not been perfect to this day. There's quite a lot of room for improvement in our supply chain, delivery speed, etc. And we are working flat out on improving that all around for everybody here. So once again, a big thank you for your patience and for sticking it out with us through this wild COVID journey. A couple news items. We are clearing off low volume locations from our production updates. We're now at 100% there. I think everything that we can ship has shipped. So a little bit of movement there. And Troy's going to expand more on that and where we stand globally when he joins in just a couple minutes. Apart from that, we've got some new products in the pipeline, some new launches coming very soon, and we might touch on that in today's live. So without further ado, I'm going to add Troy in here. We'll jump into it a little bit early, and we will get right off into the questions after I pull him in. Troy, what's going on?
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
Hang on. I didn't hear you on that one. I think that's on my end, though.
Oh.
Now I hear you. It's
hear me?
It's not you, it's me.
It's okay.
I bet you heard that one before.
Yeah. a time or two. Okay.
How you doing today? Now I lost your sound, Troy. I think now it is you. Troy, you're muted. Hang on. Hey, Troy, we lost your mic. Troy, I'm gonna pull you off because it sounds like you don't hear me, but we lost your mic here. I'm gonna comment to you, Troy. We lost your mic. All right, a little technical difficulty here. I'm gonna let Troy know real quick. We lost his mic. Let's see. It looks like Troy might have to rejoin this live. He's going to be on in just a minute. So I'm going to handle some questions while we wait for Troy to jump back in. All right, from Louis Jonget. Hi, FLX team. I received with many other, I assume, a confirmation email for my touring package on October 21st. Troy, how's your mic now? Give it a shot. Troy, you're on the live. Say something. I hear you. Do you hear me? Hello.
Okay.
Troy, I can hear you. All right, you guys in the comment section, let us know if you can't hear Troy or me. Troy's jumping back in. Back to the comments. We will get this right. Okay. I received a confirmation email for my touring package on October 21st. I'm located in France, and all updates are saying that it's on its way since. Can we have a more precise update on this? Thanks a lot. So I can give you a little bit of an update on that, Louis. What we've been doing in Europe and UK is trying to set up a fulfillment partner for the smaller items, the touring packages, etc. Trying to get online with FedEx there in Europe to ship out the touring packages. But it's been a massive, massive headache. The reason is they require some VAT registration from us, and that's something that's been ongoing. We've been working on it for God knows how long. There's a lot of red tape, especially in Spain, where we have to do it because the factory is located there. That's where the parts will ship out from. We've gone back and forth just on one document for, it must be 10 or 12 weeks now, and it's the tiniest thing. Like today we got an email back from our agent there who's doing everything for us. The tax people wouldn't accept the notarized document, which also had an apostille from the state of California just verifying our information, because one of the items was handwritten. The person's name was handwritten on the document, and that was the exact template they gave us. It had a line for handwriting. So a lot of back and forth there. We are looking for alternatives, Louis, long story short, to handle the shipping, because we have no idea how long it's going to take just to get this paperwork through. So we're looking for other 3PLs, third-party logistics providers, who will be able to ship it in a faster manner than we've been able to on our own, just due to the paperwork constraints that we're having there right now. So I don't have an exact date for you. All I can say is hang tight. We're working on it. It is a high priority for us. All right, let's see if we can get Troy back on here. Hey, Troy.
Hey.
Third time's the charm. Hey, I hear you loud and clear.
Let's hope so. Let's hope I can hang in here for a while. All right. So I heard you talking about, I think it was Lewis's question. Yeah, we are getting set up on that. But Lewis, it hasn't been in shipping. You'll get a VAT letter before that. But yeah, what Rob said is exactly right. Getting that set up in Europe and certainly in Spain is a challenge. So we are working it. It is at the top of our priority list because we have had those for some period of time.
Awesome.
Okay. So North America, I mentioned container 25. Don't know when you lost me. That is and has been at FedEx. We've been sending labels over to that. If you were allocated to container 25, those should be shipping out here. The caveat is we are into the peak season right now. We're well into the peak season. So FedEx is getting pretty crushed, even more so than the normal supply chain has been. So it's going to be a little bit slow. We're trying to get those to you as quickly as possible. But C25 is in, and the labels for all those are cut, and that includes a bunch of touring packages also. So those should be going out. If you were waiting for a touring package, there's a good possibility it's in there. We've sent out some more address confirms also, with more on the way for some Shopify orders. So touring packages are going to be flying out everywhere. And that is all the touring packages to fulfill all the demand in North America. We have another container in, actually, that's at FedEx right now. That's C26. That is Bandits, Trails, and Blades. If you have some interest in those, we have those available, as well as from C25, we got our first step through 2s in, and we sold most of them, but there are some available to ship from stock. So if you were eyeing the step through 2, that is available also. Let's see. Hawaii, we had some bikes hung up there. We finally got all of our dangerous good issues resolved, and all the bikes that were in Hawaii have now been delivered. That was we appreciate everyone in Hawaii for their patience on that. That was a pain in the you know what, but we've got those out. We do have one more bike for Alaska to go out. Hope to get the bill lading out on that today, and we will get that one rolling also. The only other thing, of course, we have chargers in C25 too, so those are going to be going out. The only other thing is the batteries, and the batteries will probably be shipping out of China after the first of the year right now with the way the logistics are. And they'll be going to actually to Australia, New Zealand, as well as to Europe and to North America also. So we'll get those spare batteries moving also. You want me to take a break, Rob?
Awesome. Yeah,
I'll
I've
try to
got
follow through.
a break programmed for us
Oh, okay.
here. I have some user photos in here. We can break it up by just
Ah,
checking out the photos. So let's see. All right, we've got one from Andrew, Women's Church in Dresden, with the
nice.
little baby maker there. It sure makes the bike look small, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What do
Actually,
you?
it's a good color contrast, though, right? The green. I mean, it's kind of the rest of it's pretty subdued colors, and there's that green kiwi just popping right there.
Yeah, it's like a super dreary day, and then you're on the baby maker. Where do you think that is? Dresden? I have no idea where that is.
Dresden, Germany.
Dresden, Germany. Very nice.
Yeah, that's that. Oh yeah, big history with Dresden. That's yeah, rebuilt from the ashes.
Awesome. I'm gonna
I've
give
been
you
there many years ago.
one more photo here. Let's see. In the spirit of Christmas, baby maker under the tree. Well, okay, it's parked inside a bar in front of the tree, but I'm sure loving the ride. That's awesome.
Beautiful bike.
That Christmas cheer, Scott, and it looks like he's raised the handlebars like 8 inches there almost.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Sweet. All right, let's see if we got any questions for you. Well, quick comment here from Tanneroo. Got my bike the other day. It's just as cool as I thought it would be. Waiting for better weather now. I had to get one with drop down handlebars due to supply. Can I order a set of bull horns? So, first of all, congrats on finally getting the bike, and thanks for your patience.
Yeah.
We don't have like kits for the bullhorn bars. If you contact our support, we could probably get some stuff together for you, at least the bars. However, swapping from the drop bars to the bull bars and vice versa, especially for a pro, can be quite time consuming. It can require a lot of parts because they are internally routed hydraulic brakes and they're very different brake systems on those two bikes. So the best thing I would recommend is to take it into a bike shop and see what they recommend, because they may have parts on hand to be able to do that in an afternoon and be able to do it faster than you would be DIY. All right, Troy, I'll let you crack on.
All righty. So Europe, we still have some bikes in stock at distribution in both the UK and Spain. Mostly just waiting for VAT payments. In fact, only waiting for VAT payments. It's very few. There's a few people who kind of lagged on that, but virtually everyone else has paid theirs, and we're moving those bikes. The current Spain build 14 is underway. They were, I think we talked about it last time. They were slow. They're a contract manufacturer. We share the line with another customer, and they were having trouble building their bike. They have been underway with our bikes. But last week also there was a couple. I think December 6th and 8th were actually holidays in Spain, so that slowed things down a bit. But they are building. The SP14 is 137 bikes, 87 for the EU, and 45 bikes for the UK. I know that only adds up to 132. We have about 5 bikes more that are additional bikes that we are going to be allocating out. I'm anticipating those are going to move to distribution probably the end of next week, which next Saturday is Christmas. A week from Saturday is Christmas. So we'll see how the trucking is, again, dealing with logistics and peak season. And then after that, probably the end of next week, they'll launch straight into the last build, Spain build 15. That's 90 bikes, 66 bikes for the EU and 24 bikes for the UK. And then there's a recovery build going on. Basically, over the course of building these bikes for the last year, they had some bikes lost for frame damage and things like that. We had about 25 to 30 bikes or frames sent from China, and we're going to be rebuilding those bikes and putting them back together so they will be as good as new. We're not going to be repairing frames. We're going to be replacing those, and those will be built probably with the rest of these also. So SP15 will probably be 90 new bikes, and then hopefully the other 30 rebuilds that are going to be coming out. So, and that will finish out all of the Spain bikes.
Troy,
And yeah,
let me
go ahead.
quiz you on that real quick, just because. Okay, so the next build for Spain,
Mhm.
When are we expecting that to leave the factory?
I'm anticipating that's going to be ready to travel to distribution end of next week.
Got it. So
Yeah.
that's the SP14.
SP14, yes.
Great.
That's 100,
So
137 bikes.
got it. Expecting end of next week, Christmas time. It's
Yeah.
tight.
And of course they'll start building SP15 because while they're packing one, they start building the next one. They don't just, it isn't just a line of demarcation between the two. They kind of ramp down on one build and ramp into the next one. They just go from one to the other.
So anybody who's on SP14 or 15, realistically, what are the chances of Christmas deliveries?
Uh, Pretty low. If they're in Europe, because we still have to collect VAT on those also. So I'm anticipating to put out the address confirms probably the end of this week or early next week. So they'd have to get an address confirm in. You're 10 days out from Christmas. Realistically, I don't think you're going to have it by Christmas. We'll do what we can, but I don't want to. I want to be realistic in expectations, and I don't want to promise something I don't know that we can deliver.
I'm with you on that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that seems pretty far fetched.
yeah,
But
it
we
does.
do have some sitting at the warehouse just waiting on VAT payments. Approximately how many
Yeah,
have we got in Europe and UK?
probably about 20 bikes total, 20 to 25 bikes.
So we could
So,
do 20 to 25 deliveries before Christmas for the
yeah,
folks who haven't seen their emails or haven't taken care of their VAT yet.
yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, we've had some people complain about not getting their bikes, and in some cases, one had been we've been waiting for VAT payment for 6 months and sent them about 4 follow-ups, and now they finally got their bike about 4 days after they paid their VAT, 3 days after they paid their VAT. So what we may do, I'm going to look at if we can reallocate what we've got. We've got some people who haven't paid their VAT. I have some doubts as to how soon they're going to. And if we have some eager people to pay VAT and take those bikes, maybe we'll just reallocate those bikes and get folks their bikes. We've tried to always respect the order number, but in some cases we've got a small number of folks who just aren't paying their VAT.
Awesome. So one thing we should do, Troy, just like that guy who, he was calling super upset and emailing
Mm-hmm.
about never getting his bike, but it turns out it sounded like he hadn't seen the VAT email or hadn't received it for a couple months. It was just sitting there. So for those 20 or 25 bikes, we can get somebody on, just giving a personal phone call to each one, make sure, hey, by the way, we sent you a few emails. Maybe it got caught by your spam filter or something like that. Want to make sure you know about this. You can take care of it and get your bike. And if not, we're going to send it on to the next guy.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Uh,
What's after that?
Well, we talked about the touring packages. We've got chargers and touring packages. As soon as we get the fulfillment worked out on those, we'll start moving those also. And there's about 400 touring packages and close to that number for chargers also that we have ready to ship also. So as soon as we get the the fulfillment partner set up, then we'll move those also. They're all ready to go. I mean, address lists, everything is ready to go. We can shoot those out as soon as we've got a partner.
Awesome.
Let's see. You want to take a stop, or should we
Yeah,
continue
let me
through? We've
get
got just a few more items. Okay.
let me see if we get a comment in here real quick for you.
Mm,
Let's see, from Mark Mayu. Hey, Rob and Troy, I went on Facebook today and many people are still waiting for bikes. What happened to the deadline? Luckily, I got mine July 28th. Hey, Mark, great to have you on the live. Always happy to see your posts on Facebook. And you're right, there are some bikes outstanding to be delivered. It's a very small quantity now. It's like a couple hundred total. We are at 97% delivered worldwide. New Zealand, Australia, 100%. US, 99.7%. And we were probably actually closer to 99.8 now after the swaps. there's a final handful of bikes there for the US where we just don't have the configuration for them. Unfortunately, what they ordered and what was produced after bikes went missing or bikes got shipped to the wrong people, etc. We just don't quite have enough for those final ones. So at the end of this week, we're actually going to be emailing those remaining orders with a cool upgrade option for them. So that will take care of the US and Canada. And then Europe and UK, as Troy mentioned, we just have 2 final shipments, which are going to be going out, one next week, and the final one is probably going to be early January. So that's going to completely wrap up Baby Maker fulfillment. It's taken, God knows, it's taken quite a lot of time to get here, and people have been so patient, but we're going to be there, Mark. All right, go ahead, Troy.
All right. So last thing is the well, you mentioned low volume locations. We've closed that out. The last bikes were delivered in Indonesia. So the only thing, and it's not really a low volume location, that we would talk about is Australia and New Zealand. All of the bikes, touring packages, and chargers are in New Zealand or Australia, as the case may be. We are sending out the GST letters. I know Kaylee's working on that now. So all of those will be going out. We'll get GST paid, and we will get you your bike. I think there's 2 left in New Zealand and 14 bikes, I believe, in Australia. And then the touring packages and the chargers, all of that will be ready to go as soon as we get GST paid. Again, letters are going out this week. Kaylee's working on that today. And then, of course, the batteries will follow just like they will for North America and Europe. We'll get all the batteries on their way. Probably after the first of the year, we'll get those at sea.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yep.
Is that it for the production update?
That is it for the production update. So you can either keep me on here for jokes and good looks, or you can ditch me and go look at people's bikes.
I'm going to keep you on here for your good looks while we look at a couple bike photos. Let's see what else we've got in here. I just thought this one was funny. Somebody posted it on Facebook. He's got his 2 Baby Makers there. He said, I'm waiting for the next live, and he's got his beer probably mugged there.
I like that.
Pretty
it's
cool.
A nice setup. I like the cup.
Yeah. All right. Who else we got? This one was awesome from Denise. She came out on a group ride with us. She actually led the San Diego group ride. Took my Baby Maker out to the Tijuana border via a back road. The wall or gate that separates the 2 countries flows into the ocean. It's a beautiful scene. Friendship Park is where families meet at the fence to see each other from opposite sides of the border. A beautiful scenery in the midst of despair. Did 40 miles on a single charge with 3 bars left. That's crazy. 40 miles. So from where she lives to the border, that's a good at least 25-mile straight line distance on the highway. If you're taking back roads, it's probably going to be more than that. So super cool. We ought to ride them into Tijuana. Troy, are you down for a Tijuana taco trip?
Sure.
On the Baby Maker?
On the Baby
Maker, as long as we don't
Maker,
get kidnapped.
on the trail. We just turn around and come back. They'd have to catch us.
All right, let's see a couple of comments here. Mark, we got him. Philip, I would like my bike. I've only been waiting over a year. And he's got a bunch of comments here. I'll just fly through them real quick as we address that. Again, and put a photo of it. I don't think I'll ever get it. I wish I had my Baby Maker for Christmas. You should be able to get the bike you want. When is my bike going to be delivered? I ordered a touring pack, but I guess that one's not getting done either. I guess I'm screwed. Live in the U.S. I wish. I guess I'm being flagged. Hey, Philip, nobody's ignoring you here on the comments. I do see every single one of them. When we go through this status update, Troy's just kind of give a global general update for everybody, and then we jump into the comments. So we'll try to answer every single comment before the end. But you can rest assured, been forgotten. If you have not got your bike yet, we are on it. We're down to the final 0.2% of deliveries in the U.S. There are some, like I mentioned earlier, where we ran out of the SKU for that bike. And what we're doing is at the end of this week, we're going to send you some information on a cool upgrade. And full disclosure, this is the first time I'm going to announce this, but we'll mention it on the live here. Let me pull, there we go. Yeah, so on the live here, I'm just going to tell everybody in the US. So we've got a handful of orders, tens of orders. I don't know the exact count in the US where we don't have the exact SKU to fulfill it. What we're going to do is upgrade you to the Baby Maker 2. That's in production. We've been working on that for many months, getting everything ready for that. And our goal this time when we launch the Baby Maker 2 is to have bikes ready to ship when we launch it. So people aren't waiting months and even years for that. So if you've been patient enough to wait until now and still haven't got your bike yet, that's completely on us for not having the correct bike for you. We will have Baby Maker 2s early next year. So we're going to send out some information on that and allow those final few people who were the most patient to jump on a Baby Maker 2. So Philip, you're either going to get your bike very, very soon here or have the opportunity to grab a Baby Maker 2 early next year. All right, next. Just a disclaimer on that before we get questions on it. That's US and Canada only. Europe, we're set on bikes. We also don't have any Baby Maker 2s for Europe, UK. All right. I have a Baby Maker 2020. Wondering what you think my battery life and range should be. Flat roads, 210-pound dude. Troy, have you done any range testing on a Baby Maker?
I have not. Full disclosure, I have not. I've ridden it quite a bit. I haven't really done a range check on it.
Got it.
I mean, but we know it all depends on how much you want the bike to do versus how much you do. You just saw what Denise said, right? She rode 40 miles and had 3 bars left.
Yeah.
You know, if you save your hills for the end and all that, I know that can really tax the battery. It's actually, I mean, I owned an electric car and it's the same thing. You kind of figure out the range in your driving style and you learn how to kind of hypermile with an electric car. Same thing with a bike. If you expect to charge up every hill without slowing down, you're going to drain your battery and affect your range. It's all about kind of budgeting your power.
Totally. Guy, I'll give you my experience. I'm 155, 160 pounds. In level 5, I can do between 15 and 20 miles generally. And it's when you get to the lower levels, 1, 2, 3, where you can really expand the range. You get 50 plus. That's at my weight. Your weight, 210, it's going to be less than that. So I would expect in level 5 for you to get somewhere between 10 and 15 miles, depending on your terrain and how you ride, how hard you're pressing on those pedals. That can really make a big difference. If you drop the pedal assist level, you'll probably be able to push it to 20, 30, 40 miles in a lower level. All right, let's see. One more comment here, Troy, and then I'll jump on these.
Alrighty.
Solo. Tanneru, we got his. Mark, we got it. All right. From Frox Art. Hey, still waiting for my Baby Maker 2 Europe. Paid my VAT, got a tracking ID, but sadly due to a logistic issue, it was not sent and it was scheduled for another batch. Do I have to wait since the last one has paid the VAT? So I think he means am I all set on the VAT for the new one?
If you paid your VAT, yeah, you're good. I'm not sure. Again, I can't figure out who the person is by the kind of their name here. I get a hold of support. I'm not sure what happened. We did have a couple of fallout that fell out. I don't know if you're in the EU or in the UK. Oh, you did say EU here. I just don't have the specific because I don't know who you are, unfortunately. If you've been in touch with support, they should be able to route that to me and we'll get you an answer.
Troy, I'm going to give you a couple more here.
We did
Any way
have
to
some
know?
bounce. And, yeah,
This
go
is for
ahead.
extra credit.
Yes.
Any way we can know if we're in SP 14 or 15 for Europe UK from Tiago?
Normally, people have been contacting support, and they tell them if they're on SP 14 or SP 15. It is by build. I was just looking. I don't have it. There's a bunch of Sterlings that are going to be in SP 14. Not all of them, but there's a bunch of Sterlings being built in 14. We're getting down to the end, so there aren't any real high volumes besides Sterlings. There's like 2 and 3 of everything else. So it's a little hard to say. If you get a hold of support, they can tell you which build they're in. Everything's been allocated.
Awesome. All right, from Ray. Hey, Rob and Troy, I just passed 6 months without a car, all baby maker or walking, and not missing my Audi. Geared up and ready for the rainy season in Seattle. Baby maker and I are ready. Thanks, Rob and Troy.
He's probably in
Awesome.
great shape if he's been no car for 6 months.
Yeah, that's awesome. And tough guy too, right? Right into the rain in Seattle. That's gutsier than I am.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a fair weather rider. I'll just go out and say it right here. Don't judge me. Ray, we're so stoked to hear that. Thanks for sharing. All right, Troy, I'll handle it from here. We got Darian coming
Okay.
on in a few minutes. I'm going to give you a
Fantastic.
massive round of applause. Thanks for the update, all the hard work, and
Uh,
we're getting there. We're almost there, Troy.
Stay safe, everyone.
All right, big round of applause for Troy. All right, so I skipped through some questions that weren't so relevant for Troy while he was on. I'm going to try and run through these very quickly and make sure we've got all your questions answered before Darian comes in. From Brian, hey Rob, bikes are stored for our winter. Hope all is well. Same to you, Brian. It's great to hear from you, and happy holidays. Christmas is coming up. From Jeffrey, hard to believe these days that lithium batteries still cause these dangerous items issues. Everything has lithium batteries now. Yeah, totally. It's I believe it was when the hoverboards were super popular, like the two-wheel balance boards. They were just cranking them out at the factories with zero QC, putting the crappiest, cheapest batteries they could in it, and some of them caught on fire on like airplanes. So lithium, anything with lithium batteries after that moment got heavily scrutinized. All right. TCC, good question, Tiago. Waiting for my 2 bikes since June 2020, and I don't even believe I will get them this year at all. No email, no VAT, nothing. TCC, we do send out a production update every 2 weeks now, including these live videos. While sometimes we can't give very specific dates about each order until they're actually produced and on their way, we do our best to give at least general information. So we've sent out 128 of those, I believe, so far since the start of this campaign. I hope at the very least that can give you some sort of clue as to where we stand in production, especially in Europe, UK. And based on what Troy just said, it sounds like our next build is going to be going out next week for Europe and UK. And the final build, that's the rest of the bikes, will be following shortly after. So I'm expecting that's going to be early January for the last of the EU and UK bikes. So if you haven't got an exact date yet, that's the best we can give you right now, is just when the end of the Europe and UK bikes will be finished. Mr. Tony Montana, send me one of the bicycles that didn't pay VAT. I'll pay the VAT immediately. 19-inch silver bullhorn. I want the horde to be over at last. Mr. Tony Montana, hey, let me know your name. I'll screenshot that and send it to Troy, and they may be able to work with you on that. Mark said, I hit 519 miles on my baby as of today. Thanks. Hopefully they get bikes, as some are very negative. Yeah. I'm totally with you on that, Mark. Everybody's doing their best to get these guys their bikes. The final remaining outstanding bikes. If I was one of those guys, I'd be very negative too, I bet, or at least very frustrated and anxious to get that bike. It's tough seeing so many people get their bikes, having fun on them, and just being kind of left in the dark and waiting. So I totally understand the frustration for the folks who haven't received the bike yet. And, on behalf of our company, I apologize just that it's taken so long, but we're working our asses off to get you those bikes, and we will do it just like we said we will. Dan Cole, hey guys, any idea when my additional battery will turn up in New Zealand? Apparently the final boat arrived here 20 days ago, and I still have no sign of it. Dan, that's a great question. Off the top of my head, I am not sure if batteries were in that shipment or not. We did have a bunch of extra components, touring packages. Batteries, I don't want to say for certain if they're on there or not. That's something we'll have to check on. But if it's not on that shipment, it will be following shortly. Troy just mentioned that we're going to have extra batteries ready early next year from our factory, and those will be shipping out to the locations where we need them. So sorry I don't have more specifics for you on that, but sometime between now and early next year, I would say. Andrew, hi there. Lovely to have my picture of the Frauenkirch shown here today. Have cycled 300 kilometers up to today. Sorry, my German is not very good. Frauenkirch. But that's awesome. Thank you for sharing the photo. Love to see that. You and the baby maker and the beautiful scenery. Keep enjoying the ride. Keep racking up those kilometers. Thank you, Andrew. Oh, and one more. I have a problem with my crank coming off while cycling last week. Mark said the cap for the crankset could be lost, but shouldn't that be fixed for good? So one thing, Andrew, when you do get a new bike, the cranks is a very, very important location. After your first 25 to 50 miles, you want to go down there on the cranks and retighten everything. Make sure that the bolts that hold the crank onto the spindle, the axle, those are tight after 50 miles. Do it again after 100, and then every few hundred miles after that. That's a very important checkpoint. It's not the most dangerous thing if those got loose, but it can be very annoying to have the crank loosen up during a ride, and it can cause some wear on the actual crank itself and eventually lead to having to replace a crank, which isn't a super expensive part, but if you can avoid it with some preventative maintenance and checking on the bolts, we definitely recommend that. Mason Parker, still looking for the bike that was on C25, reached out to support and still waiting for clarification. Can I request a signature needed for delivery as I may not be around? Mason, if you can send that request to our support team, well, actually, all of our bikes for the U.S., we do request a signature, so that's actually default. But I wouldn't necessarily trust my bike with it, because we've seen quite a few instances where the delivery drivers, even though they have to get a signature, and that's part of their job, some of them are not getting it, or they're signing it themselves. They're writing like COVID as an excuse to not get the signature. It's an unfortunate reality with the current shipping market right now. Things are very crazy. If we could control that, we certainly would, but that's been happening in some places. So you can sign up for FedEx Delivery Manager. There's an app for your phone, and you can even get email notifications. Basically, you just put your address in there, and FedEx is going to reach out and say, hey, you have a package coming. It's going to be, and make sure at least you're there, or a neighbor or somebody that can make sure that bike gets to you safely. TH, hey guys, they're on here. Very much appreciated on that Baby Maker 2 upgrade. They're on. Hey, I'm so glad to hear that that you got the news on that and that you're excited about it. We'll be sending out more information on that in regards to a more specific timeline and exactly how to do it. We're actually working on it this week. The goal is to have that out by the end of this week, and that's kind of pending if we can get all the logistics straight just for that. So it should be the end of this week, possibly early next week, but goal is end of this week. All right, we've got a new guest in the house. Let me scoot over for you. Darian, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Hang on. One more time?
Doing great. How are you?
You sound great. All right, everybody, meet Darian. He's one of the newest members of the FLX team. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Thanks for asking.
Very good. So,
Great to be here.
Why don't you just tell us your name and a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Darian. Started here about 3 months ago as an intern. Did it for a little school class assignment. And now I'm here as a full-time marketing coordinator with FLX, handling most of the customer service representation operations that we have here, as well as some of the campaign updates. Just working on getting us a little more integrated and fluent as far as companies go.
Awesome. So, Darian, what's been, I guess, one of the more challenging parts of this job so far?
Challenging parts, it's mostly just about, getting everything cleared out. Nothing too incredibly challenging. To me, it's a lot of fun, but it's mostly just logistical issues, a lot of things that we have to deal with, a lot of things to catch up on. Just trying to get everything figured out, make sure our feedback loop is closed and tight instead of having all these little sideways paths that we're always so worried about. But get everything cleaned up, get the process nailed down, making sure everything's handled the right way.
Totally. So we've been doing a lot of work. Oh, my microphone kind of volume dropped. We've been doing a lot of work to get our company internals bolstered as we prepare to grow even more in 2022. Make sure all of our processes are down pat. And Darian's been a very integral part of that, especially in helping out our writers, our customers. So how often are you on the phone with our customers?
Every day, at least 10 to 15 calls a day, easily. Before it was a lot more. It was probably upwards of 20 plus, just trying to make sure everyone's happy, because before we didn't really have like a sustained phone line system. So that's what I wanted to make sure we implemented when I came in here. And so far it's been working out pretty well. Most people come out happy after they just get to hear someone and talk to someone. Most of the time they just want to know that someone's there on the other side rather than just talking to some entity in their mind. So I am the voice of reason in that sense.
Totally. So long before Darian came on, before the Baby Maker campaign even started, we used to have the phone number right up on our website. And then when the Baby Maker campaign launched, we were just a small team of like 8 or 10 people, and the phone was ringing nonstop, so much so that we couldn't handle it, and we had to just switch it to a voicemail and take the phone number off the website and just focus on what we could handle. Now we're finally at the point where we're able to turn the phones back on, get the number back on the site. Darian's been a huge help. He's like, oh, the phones aren't on? I got it. I'll take every call, 3 a.m. I got it. So he's on the phones, as well as the rest of our entire support team. What is it, 5, 6, 7 people that we've got on the phones now?
Definitely. Yep. Everyone's going to be on the phones answering all sorts of customer questions, concerns, and making sure everyone's heard.
Awesome. That's so cool. And the big thing there that Darian's helping out with is like these special cases. So, for example, a bike got lost, or somebody was expecting the bike 3 months ago. The one in the UK, do you want to tell us about that one?
Yeah. So one about the UK, we have a lot of shipping issues in terms of that. There's a lot of concerns that have to deal with. Most of the calls that I get are communication issues. So there'll be like a couple emails here and there. So most people get concerned that their product is never going to be coming. And so they find a way to contact us, whether it's support tickets or sending us emails. And most of the time they don't feel like that's moving fast enough. So I'm the one who hops on the phone with them, make sure that their process is handled, let them know where their bike is, when it's going to be coming, and assure them and make them feel comfortable that their bike is going to be coming. They're going to enjoy it way more than they're expecting they're going to.
So what was the actual solution to that UK one?
Well, I've had a couple of UK ones. Specifically, which one?
The one that the VAT, he didn't get his VAT letter.
Oh, he didn't get his VAT letter. Yeah. So essentially, that was just a little bit of a communication error, I guess you can call it. He received his email, but did not understand that that was for his FLX bike and could have been for another product, but did not understand that entirely. So I just needed to call him and assure him that this email did come to him. We had also sent him a follow-up just to make sure that he did receive this VAT fee, because if he didn't pay the VAT fee, then you're not going to receive your bike and no more notification, because we're not going to hear about it. And until he pays the VAT fee, we're not going to understand if it's going to receive a shipping confirmation or any other sort of notification of the sort. So a lot of communication errors came upon that. We were able to contact him, figure out that his VAT fee was sitting inside of his email, get that all handled, and now he'll be able to ride his bike around the UK as much as he'd like.
The bike's on the way to him, right?
Yes, it is. It's already in the UK.
Awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, so a lot of those small kind of frictional communication issues, Darian's on top of those. Super cool. All right, let's see if we've got some messages here we can tackle together.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, here's a fun one. Andrew, is there a possibility to get an upgrade from a single speed to a 2 or 3 gear version? We don't have that. We don't sell that now. But if you look on the official Babymaker owners Facebook page, there are a couple different versions that people have done. There's a FNAO speed box, which is like it goes on your front crank, and it's a internally geared shifter. It's like a 2 or 3 speed. And somebody also did rear cassette with like a 7 or 8 speed shifter on there. So you could consider that as well if you want to trick it out. All right. Darian, I think that covers everything.
Sounds good to me.
I'm going to give you a big round of applause here. Thank you so much for coming on. Welcome to the team. And do you have any news about the BBB? What was the big news on that?
Initially, of course, with all the commotion with the initial Babymaker release, our BBB kind of took a little bit of a hit there, but I made sure that all the customers who, filed some sort of a complaint with us, I made sure they were all taken care of, handled all of their situations, and now BBB is top rank. We have an A grade on BBB as well as accreditation, so we are verified through the BBB, and we're an established company now.
That's awesome. We didn't even know about it before. I guess there were some people trying to communicate with us through the BBB, and Derry took care of all of those, and we're accredited, and we're A business. What is it called? Better Business Bureau?
Yep. Accredited
A rating.
To the BBB A rating.
Awesome. Nice work, man. Big round of applause.
Thanks so much.
Keep it up. All right. So we missed a few questions here with Darian in. I'm going to answer every single question here before we wrap the live up at 3 p.m. Let's see. Ray, we got his. Tony Montana got it. Mark Mayu got it. Dan. Andrew Cranks. Mason, we got it. Bingo. Hey, Took. Hi, can you tell me if I'm one of the last EU containers? 13711. Took, if you have not got it yet, that's a very safe guess. I do not have the list for that. Our logistics team is. If you email our support, they may be able to check that for you. If you haven't got it yet, I can say quite confidently that you're most likely in the unless your bike has, like we mentioned, a couple cases of this that we've seen where the bike is already shipped to the warehouse and we sent out the VAT letter and the person either didn't receive it or he received it and didn't realize, oh, this is for my Babymaker. So I would check your spam folder. Just search shipping at flx.bike. If you do see something from us for like a VAT letter, VAT payment request, please check that out. It's unlikely, but it's kind of a lottery scenario where it's like, oh, I actually do have my bike ready to go, where we have seen a couple of cases of that. Okay, Jeffrey Fulong. My Indiegogo account said it was fulfilled, but I still haven't got my bike. Jeffrey, great question. I'm going to have to screenshot some of these. So what that can be is it's possible that you got a tracking number for the bike and it has not either left the FedEx facility or hasn't got to you yet. That's typically what happens on Indiegogo. Is once we have the tracking numbers from the carrier, we will upload those into Indiegogo, which is something that we have to do just to fulfill it. So that's possible. And something else that's happened is in previous containers we've seen where FedEx will give us the labels, we'll put the labels in, and some of those labels got dropped between the time FedEx made the labels and the time they actually shipped the boxes out. They missed putting the labels on boxes. And so we had one shipment where there were tens of bikes, like 20 or 30 bikes that got a tracking number, but there was no bike at the end to ship. So there are some small issues like that, Jeffrey. I would message our support, especially if you've got a tracking number, check on that, and we can sort that out for you. Bondi Peter, have over 1,000 kilometers since February. Still got admirers. Loving it. Bondi Peter, hey, great to have you on the live. Thanks for joining. And it's super cool to hear about your bike. 1,000 kilometers. You're officially in the Millennium Club, I guess, is what they call it. In kilometers, anyways. Mr. Tony Montana, my order 13267. I will screenshot that. Scott, when would the Baby Maker 2 ship? They're already in production. Scott, they have been in production for quite some time, actually. It's something we haven't been talking about much because it's kind of gone on in the background. But we're expecting the first shipments around late January for those to be completed. So Q1 for sure. The exact date I can't tell you for certain because it's not here yet. We were trying to hold off until they were actually ready and then drop the surprise on everybody. Hey, Baby Maker 2's here and it ships today. But in light of the fact that we do have 20 or 30, the exact number I don't know, but Baby Maker 1s where we just don't have the SKU to fulfill it. I figured I'd let you guys know if you are those final people waiting on it because you've been so patient so far. That's the least we could do is let you know. Still looking for my bike off of C25. Please provide update. I reached out to support and still no clear info. Mason Parker. What did support say to you? I'm curious, Mason. Was it that they didn't get back to you or they got back to you and the information just wasn't clear on where it was? Mark Mayu, goodbye. Have a great day. Thanks. I understand too. Thank you, Mark. Always for the support coming on the shows. Frox Art. Hey, Rob, can you forward this to Troy? My invoice number is number 11917. The issue in the past was logistic run out of labels, if I understand correct. Now I'm waiting again without an update. Frox, I will. I'm screenshotting that right now for Troy. All right. For Troy 13267, send me one of the bikes. They don't pay the VAT in my configuration. Baby Maker Pro 19-inch silver bullhorn. Lots of messages for Troy. As soon as he leaves, everybody wants him back. Troy's doing a great job. I will forward that on to him, Mr. Tony Montana. Mason Parker. I got your earlier comments. Sorry, it's taken a minute to get caught up on all these. 910648. Please provide an update. I reached out to support and still no clear info. I am screenshotting that as well. Okay, Andrew, we got that one. And Troy's getting back to Took. You are on build SP15. Ding, late to the party and just caught up on UK distribution status. I'll take a Sterling Pro 19-inch bullhorn that is outstanding from another non-paying VAT customer. I hope Santa was bringing it this year. Awesome, Ding. If you send us your order number, I can screenshot that for Troy. Andrew, thanks for the tips. Need the extra gear due to the hills. Thanks. Awesome, Andrew. From Danny, my baby maker is great. WTW. I don't know what WTW means. I'm in Europe. If I need to go buy a new battery in 12 or 18 months' time, is that going to be a problem after the Spain factory is closed? Danny, I don't think it will be a problem. We do have so many riders in EU and UK that we are most likely going to keep a small store of components available there. And worst case scenario, if we don't have it available in Europe or UK, we can ship it from our production facilities in China where those batteries are actually made. So that's something that we do every once in a while for people who purchased from our first campaign in 2016. Every once in a while, we'll ship them out a battery to UK or Europe. Richard, will FLX let the owners of Baby Maker know that the replacement battery is being discontinued so we can order the battery before they're unavailable? Richard, we will always stock, for the foreseeable future, that Baby Maker 1 battery. And that's the same thing for people who ordered from us from our very first campaign in 2016, 5 years ago. We still stock the battery that was used in those bikes. So anybody who ordered then, if they've got an issue with the battery now, 5 years later, they can order a replacement on our website. And we intend to do that with the Baby Maker as well. Danny, WTW, worth the wait. Okay. My Baby Maker is great, worth the wait. Awesome. Hey, it rhymes too. That's perfect. It's 2:56 p.m. and we're all caught up on the questions. If there are any last minute questions before we end this live, please send them now. In the meantime, I'm going to see if we got any more of the photos posted on the Baby Maker official Baby Maker owners Facebook group here. Any that we didn't cover with Troy. Let's see what we got. I don't know if we got this one or not. Let's see. Hang on. Got a comment in the way. I love my Baby Maker. Bar hopping in San Antonio, Texas. Awesome from Scott. Scott's posting some awesome photos in there. Here's actual delivery. I love seeing the FedEx trucks in the videos of the delivery guy carrying these to people's doors. It's cool that you can capture that moment. Highlights from my bike delivery today, ordered in August. Awesome, David. And just a quick note about that. I saw some comments in the Facebook group from people saying, what's the deal? Somebody ordered in August and got their Baby Maker already. I ordered last year and still haven't got it. The reason for that is we're not deprioritizing anybody. It's because of the available SKUs. So certain configurations where we ran out of that exact configuration of bike, like we mentioned in the US, we've got like 30 or so of those where we ran out. We just can't produce that bike out of thin air. We actually have to have all of the components to build it. That's the frame, the correct, all the belt drive, the motor, the dropper brakes, especially the tan bar wraps. We have to have all of those pieces to be able to build that bike. So some configurations we actually have an excess of. And if somebody ordered that now, even because it's in excess, we'd be able to ship that immediately. Whereas the other ones where we are short on them, even if somebody ordered, or if they ordered a year and a half ago, there's nothing we can do to just magically produce that bike. So that's why there can be some discrepancy in the order of when people ordered the bike and when they receive it. It's because there's 96 different combinations of 48 or 96. A heck of a lot of different configurations. If we only sold one configuration, it would absolutely be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in chronological order. But due to production constraints, there is a little bit of mixture on when they can actually be delivered. All right, from Siggy, beautiful evening ride with perfect weather on my Baby Maker Pro. That's awesome. He went 20 miles on a matte black Baby Maker Pro 23-inch. Siggy has some awesome posts too, talking about his Baby Maker journey. So check him out in the official Baby Maker owners group. All right, final comments here, and I'm going to sign off. Let's see. From Jeffrey, hey Rob, invested tier 4, by the way. That is awesome. Hey Jeffrey, I gotta have you on the next live. I'd love to pick your brain. Tier 4, that's awesome. So Jeffrey's talking about our equity crowdfund campaign. I'm gonna throw up a link to that in just a second, but he invested in a tier where he's gonna get $500 store credit, 100 trees planted in his name, gold FLX commemorative coin. I'm super excited about that. And optional inclusion on our board of advisors. So Jeffrey, we work for you now. You're going to be able to tell us how to run the business, basically, being in that investment level. Super exciting, Jeffrey. Welcome to the FLX owners team. You're an owner now. That's awesome. Jeffrey, thank you for believing in us. We will work hard to make your investment worth it. All right, I'm going to throw up a quick banner of that. Let's see. Here's the link, by the way, if you want to check out our equity crowdfund campaign and join in on our mission to disrupt the bike industry. It's flx.bike/invest. So if you believe that electric is the future like we do, you definitely want to check that out. We can't say too much about it here. You got to learn about it on the page. The SEC has a lot of rules about that. So go check it out, flx.bike/invest. From Ding, I'm order number 13319, Rob. I will screenshot that for you. And I saw Troy is actually on here checking these comments, so he may be on this on his own already. From Jack Chance, will there ever be an option for a throttle on the Baby Maker? Jack, that's a great question, and you're not the first person to request it. At the moment, the foreseeable future, I don't see a throttle going on the Baby Maker. The reason is the battery capacity on the Baby Maker is much less than you see on our other bikes, like a third of what our other bikes have, just to keep it slim so you can't even tell it's electric. And so the Baby Maker is primarily pedal assist. That means it's using your muscle power in combination with the battery power to really be able to get some decent range out of it. So if you're just going to do throttle only, the range will be severely limited because you're not getting that extra juice from your muscle. Kind of the ideal in my mind, how I see it anyways, is like 50% you, 50% bike, and obviously you adjust it based on how you like to ride. So that's my opinion on it. But just know that you're not alone in wanting a throttle, and I'll certainly keep that in mind. We'll keep it in mind. We've got design meetings every week with our engineers where we talk about new features and things that people want, and we build these bikes for you. So if enough people really want something like that, we will seriously consider it. All right, that's all the questions. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in for this live. If you enjoyed it, if it was valuable to you at all, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, leave a comment, support us. Everybody who hasn't got a bike yet, really, really do appreciate your patience. We're at the end of the road here. The final 2 shipments for Europe and UK, which is the location where we need help the most, those are in the works. The next one's going to ship next week, and the final one is going to ship probably in early January after this kind of Christmas holiday. In the US, we're shipping the final bikes as we speak, and we're going to close it out by upgrading any outstanding orders is for US and Canada, where we just don't have the SKU, to the Baby Maker 2. So hang tight. It's a very exciting couple of weeks here. Thank you guys again for watching. And with that, I'm out of here. Let's get some cool music here. No, not that one. That's the one.